Alright, as some of you might know, a few weeks ago we released a new rig called Serena, and today we're going to talk about the process of how we made her, and if you do want to check her out, link in the description below. Now of course the first step is to find freelancers to help you make it, and at first I was looking on ArtStation, on CG Trader and on Instagram for character modelers and riggers, but this didn't work out at all because people barely responded, and those 5 people that did respond just weren't open to freelancing, so it just didn't really work out. After that I decided to just move to Discord, and I sent out a message stating that I'm looking for freelancers in these specific fields and for them to just message me their portfolios. And I posted on multiple Discords, including my own, and Agora's, and Sir Veide's server and so on, and after a few days I received quite an overwhelming amount of DMs, and I think at the end I received around 50 or 60 applicants. While making a rig, the first thing to do of course is to make the model, and as our character modeler we had Genesis Williams, and when I was looking for his ArtStation he made this render a few months back, and it was a very similar style to what I was envisioning in my head, and we decided to use it as our concept. So from that concept we kept the same hair color, skin color and a very similar shirt, and the rest was up to me really. For body shape I picked the inverted triangle, and for jeans I just picked light blue generic jeans and a black tank top, because I wanted to keep this character in generic clothing so it can be used for a wide variety of shots, just so it isn't limited to like one genre. For shoes I just had a few different Nike shoes which resembled what I wanted the shoes to look like, so we just used that as our reference, and for the colour we just had them greyish white. I also wanted to change the hairstyle, because in the concept the hair was covering most of the right eyebrow, and as most animators know, the eyebrows are some of the most expressive features on the face, so hiding that could just make your animations worse, and we don't want that. Now lastly, the eye color. I didn't have any specific color in mind, so we just did 3 separate renders, each render with a different eye color, and I just sent that to a few 3D artists I knew for them to basically just rate which eye color is best. But if you don't like the eye color or the style, you can change it because it is fully procedural. This is just a quick behind the scenes, but we did try to change the hair and skin color, but compared to what we have now, it just doesn't look that good in my opinion. Next we have rigging, and our rigger was Ujjwal Virat. I didn't have too much to add to this process. The only thing I requested was for foot roll and was for duplicate limbs. As I've seen Maya rigs, like the Spider-Man rig, have this duplicate limb feature, I thought it would be pretty nice to add that to this rig. It makes creating smears a bit easier for animators, though it is only limited to the hands and the arms. Also, another fun feature this rig has, which may intrigue your creative side, is the opportunity to change your pupil shapes. You can make it heart shaped, you can make it cat pupil shaped, and so on. You can even mix them together if you feel like it. Then the rest is all pretty standard, you know, IK/FK switching, a full facial rig, etc. It's all you need for a fully functioning rig. Next up we have Nathan Batchelor, who was our animator for this project. He animated the facial poses for the pose library, and he also animated the promotional poses for the Gumroad listing, because we couldn't just have her standing in a T-pose, that'd be way too boring. The promotional poses also give the character, it gives her a personality and it makes her so much more appealing. Having an animator also let us troubleshoot the rig and to find and fix some of the issues before the public release. It also helped us find an issue with the texturing, where the wrinkle maps would look good in the default position, but as soon as you start animating, they would deform and they just would look unappealing. The easiest solution for this was to just remove the wrinkles, and that's exactly what we did. Now lastly we're on to me. My roles were to fund the rig and to light and render the promotional poses, and I thought I could take on this challenge. Because first of all, the Cycles render engine is so easy to use. Like, the only settings I touched was the resolution, the samples amount, the denoiser, and the color management settings. Because around the time I finished lighting the poses, the new shiny Blender 4.0 came out with its new AGX, which let me compare the old filmic renders with the new AGX re-renders, and it made such a massive difference. I also decided to do the lighting because, well, it would just save me some money, and I used to be a 3D generalist when I first started in Blender, and I was pretty confident that I could just stumble my way through. And boy did I stumble, but I did get there in the end. The amount of different passes I did for each pose really does show how I struggled, but at the same time I feel like it was a good learning experience, and I definitely improved my lighting skills by doing this. At the same time, I'm not too happy with what I had in the end. I feel like I went for a really basic lighting setup and a bland background for every single render, and I didn't really like it. I think for every single render, I did the 3-point lighting setup and just a bland white background. And I feel like I could have been a lot more creative in the way I showcased the character through the lighting and the background. But I have to keep in mind that I still learned a lot about lighting and Blender's lighting features, so it was worth it at the end of the day. Now, let's talk about funding. As someone who is a big believer in free education and free resources, I would love to make this rig free, but I just can't. These rigs are so expensive to make, and I just wouldn't be able to financially survive in the long run if I were to do this. For those wondering where the money goes, you'll be happy to know it won't be spent on me or something stupid like that. It will be locked away in a separate bank account and will be used to help fund the creation of new rigs, models, or free resources, and so on. Everything will be reinvested back into the community, and I think we talked about everything about the process of creating Serena. Make sure to check out Serena in the description. Make sure to check out all the other socials in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.